Hello and welcome. So today we're going to do something a little different. This isn't just a talk, it's a hands-on workshop. We're actually going to build an educational podcast right from scratch using some super simple, totally accessible AI tools. Ready to dive in? Let's get started. And I'm serious when I say hands-on. So go ahead, pause if you need to, and grab a pen and paper or, open up a notes app on your computer. You're definitely going to want to jot some of this stuff down as we go. But before we get into the how, let's tackle the most important question for any of us teachers, right? Is this even worth it? Do our students actually listen to podcasts? Or are we just kind of shouting into the void? Well, the data might just surprise you. Check this out. According to the latest Digimeter research, a whopping 29% of the population listens to podcasts every single month. That's nearly 1 in 3 people tuning in on the regular. But who are these people exactly? And this chart really tells the story. Look at that sweet spot. The most active listeners are between 18 and 54 years old. That is the absolute core demographic for adult education. So yeah, this isn't some niche hobby. It's a major way your audience is already learning. The why is crystal clear. Your students are already there. Okay, so we know there's an audience. How do we get started? Well, not with technology, actually. We start with a plan. We like to call it the podcast skeleton. It's just a really simple framework to give your idea some bones. And your skeleton is built on 4 key questions. First, who are you talking to? Second, what do you want them to actually learn by the end? Third, how are you going to present it? And this last one is so important. What is your hook? What are you going to say in those first 30 seconds to make them think, okay, I need to hear this? Now, thinking about format, here are 2 really popular choices. You could go with instruction, where you're the solo expert explaining a concept. That's perfect for breaking down complicated topics. Or you could do a discussion format, which is amazing for getting students' critical thinking gears turning by hearing different perspectives. All right, you've got your plan. Now let's talk tech. And I want to be super clear about this. This is what we call a low threshold toolkit. You don't need to be a digital wizard or go out and buy a bunch of expensive gear to make this happen. First up is Vocaroo. It's just a website. There's no login, no creating an account, nothing. You literally go to the site, hit the big red button, record your audio, and then download the file. It could not be simpler. Okay, next, you take that audio file you just made and pop it into TurboScribe. This is a cool AI tool that just listens to your audio and spits out a written transcript. And the free version is awesome. It gives you 3 free transcriptions every single day. That's more than enough to get started. So now we have our audio and our text. What about the visuals? That's where Gamma comes in. You just copy and paste your transcript into it, and its AI generates a whole really engaging slideshow for you. It turns your words into a visual guide. And finally, the powerhouse of the group, Notebook LM from Google. Think of this thing as your personal research assistant. It takes your source material, like that transcript we just made, and just transforms it into a whole bunch of different learning materials. That's pretty amazing. So that's the whole workflow in 4 easy-to-remember steps. Record with Vocaroo, transcribe with TurboScribe, present with Gamma, and transform with Notebook LM. See? Simple. Now let's look at how this all comes together to make a complete lesson. This next part is where we go from just, making a little podcast to creating this rich, multifaceted learning experience, all from that one piece of audio you recorded. And as the creator of this whole workflow says, this is truly where the magic is. We're about to see how we can multiply the value of that first simple recording, like tenfold. So you just feed Notebook LM that one transcript or that one audio file, and from that single source, it can automatically create, well, just watch. All of this, an audio summary, an infographic, a mind map, flashcards, a quiz, a study guide, even an explanatory video script. It's wild. You make one thing and you get an entire lesson pack out of it. And here's the part that's so crucial for us as educators. It's reliable. Notebook LM only uses the information you gave it. It won't just make stuff up or have one of those weird AI hallucinations. It stays grounded in your content so you know the output is accurate. Okay, so these tools are obviously incredibly powerful, but the technology is only half the battle, isn't it? Now we have to bring it back to what actually matters, our teaching and our students' learning. And this quote just says it all perfectly. We can't just throw these new materials at our students and expect miracles. Our job is to guide them. We have to teach them how to learn with these new tools. So here's a fantastic, super practical tip. Don't just lecture at them. Embed an assignment. Tell them at the beginning of the podcast to take notes on a specific topic. Then at the end, give them a small task based on what they heard. This makes sure they're listening to learn, not just passively hearing the words. Okay, so now it's your turn to actually try it. Here's your first assignment. It's just 3 little steps. Record a quick 2-minute clip on any topic you know well. Use TurboScribe to make a transcript, then upload that to Gemma. The goal isn't to make something perfect, it's just to feel the process. And remember what we said at the beginning. The barrier to entry here is so low. You do not need a fancy mic or a professional studio. The computer you're on right now, or even just your smartphone, that's literally all you need to start creating. So, I want to leave you with this question to think about. Now that you've seen what's possible with these simple tools, how will you use AI to make your next lesson even stronger?